mat. Feet parallel, hip bone distance. And then you'll start by just sending the tail down and back, just coming into a couple little air squats here to start. Tail goes down and back, and then exhale, drive through the heels to stand back up. We'll move through just a few of these. Inhale, sends you down and back. Exhale to stand back up, drive through the heels. Try to keep your feet as close to parallel as you can under that natural hip bone distance. We'll go for 8. Inhale, down and back. Exhale to stand. Start to create that dragging sensation through the backs of the arms. You're trying to stretch the arms back behind you. Feeling a little warmth in the back of that tricep. We'll do 4. And then we'll find a little hold. Try to keep the shoulders stretched down away from the ears. We'll find that hold in 2. And 1. Send the tail down and back. Arms extend out. It's up an inch, down an inch. Drop your shoulders away from your ears. Slight tuck of the tail up and under. Just keep that nice natural curve of the low back. Your shoulders resist the urge to creep higher up towards your ears. And then you feel that little sensation that you can push your feet outward on your mat. We're here like this for just 8. Go for 7. Here for 6. Last 5. 4. 3. 2. Pause, hold. Hands come to heart center. You'll find the weight in the left foot. Drive up through that left foot. Take a twist of your chest over that lifted right leg. Inhale, down and back. We stay on the right. Exhale, drive and lift. Option if that lift of the leg is too much. When you come up, just float the right heel up. Squat back. Float the right heel up. Still try to get that twist. Otherwise, you're using your low belly to pick the right leg up as you use your waistline to rotate not just your arms, but your entire chest. We'll go for 8. Here for 7. Creating that ringing through the waist. Feel the strength in behind the back of this left leg. We're here for 4. Go for 3. Here for 2. And last one, we hold, extend the arms up. It's up an inch, down an inch, warming up through the body. We're here for 8. 7. Go for 6. Last 5. 4. 3. 2. Pause, hold, hands at heart center. Drive through that right foot, that right heel. Stand up. Twist over that lifted left leg. Inhale, down and back. You're going to pick up your pace a little. Trying to find the squeeze of the right hamstring into your butt. Making sure you rotate. Not by pulling your left hip back. Both hips stay forward. You create that hourglass shaping. That ringing of the waist sensation. To find this twist, we'll go for 8. Here for 7. Last 6. Just 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Send the tail down the back. Last little set of pulses. Tiny up, tiny down. Shoulders at ears. Just 8. 7. Here for 6. Last 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Straighten the legs. Give yourself a forward fold. Lift one heel. Bend one knee. Take that little sway. Okay, come on down to our mat. You'll grab your band. Band is going to go over top the thighs. So you always have the option to take one loop instead of the 2. But it goes about midway on the thigh. So it's not all the way up to the hip thigh crease. It's not all the way at the knee. And then you'll lie all the way down. So you'll take both loops together and then put the whole piece over top the thighs. Perfect. Always an option to do one loop or no loops. If they become too much, you'll lie all the way down. Hands are going to come behind your head. Cradle your head into your hands. Lift the tips of the elbows and your peripheral curl up. Coming into that upper abdominal curl, we'll start with just this little hold. So you're feeling that you can keep yourself curled up to about the tips of the shoulder blades. Feet down center. There's no coning or shoving of your abdominals out. If they are, you can rest your head back down. We'll inhale, press the legs out on a diagonal. Exhale in. So a couple of things. You can always rest your head down at any point. There's no gripping or tension through the low back. If you feel that, you need to modify. You either put your head down, take your legs higher up, or don't straighten them all the way out. Keep that pressure into the band. Feeling the outer hips start to warm up and fire on. Feel like you're squeezing your hamstring into your seat. That same idea we just found in those little air squats. We're here for 6. We're here for 5. Go for 4. Last 3. Here for 2. Last 1. Draw the legs up and in. Give me a little upper abdominal pulse. Elbows wide, belly pulls back. Always the option. Take the break. Meet us back here. Think. Lift your chest up and forward towards your thighs. Don't pull your head forward with your hands. We'll do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it, curl. Now pulse the legs out. The whole leg presses out like you're opening the cover of a book. So it's not internal and external. Your feet don't flare, your knees don't flare. It's that whole shape, opening out and in. Just 8. Here for 7, you always have the option to ditch the band or rest the head, but we have just 5. You're gonna hold the legs as far open as you can in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Press, hold the legs open. It's a micro pulse out for 8, 7. One more change in 6. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2. Press open, hold. Release your arms so that the left arm is above the band between the inner thighs. The right arm is outside that right hip. You're in a little twisty pulse. It's up and to the right. Options here. Just hold the legs, rest the head down. You're pressing out as strong into the tension of the band as you can. And we're trying to float that left hip and shoulder blade up off the mat, creating that ringing sensation. Toning that little pocket right outside that waistline. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come through center, switch sides. Same thing, other side. Hips are evenly weighted. Press like you're going to tear that band apart. And then you're thinking about peeling that right hip and shoulder blade up and off the mat. Let's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way in and rest on down. Give your legs a little hug into your chest. A little rock from side to side. You're gonna roll yourself all the way up. You can ditch that band off the thighs. We're gonna trade it out for the weights, and you'll make yourself or your way back up to stand. One weight into each hand. Collarbones nice and wide. Feet are gonna come back into that parallel hip bone distance position. Roll your shoulders up, down, and back. Soften the knees. Nice little athletic stance. So tailbone through top of head is one long line. You'll start by floating the arms back and up behind you. And then slowly lower them back down. Inhale floats the arms up. Slower than you like, you lower them back down. Just wrist under shoulder. Options here to put the waist down. I don't want you hinged flat to the floor. You can stand up a little bit more, but you're trying to find at least a little bit of that hip hinge. When you float your arms up and back, they shouldn't go wide, elbows shouldn't flare, shoulders shouldn't round. If they do, you're doing too much. So you're trying to drag the knuckles along the floor and up the wall behind you. You keep your gaze a few feet down in front of you on the mat, but every now and then, kind of take a little peek at the front of the shoulders. When you lift your arms up behind you, your shoulders don't round forward, they don't crunch up. When you float your arms up, you don't tense behind your mid-back. You pull the front of your ribs in and up. So as you lower and lift your arms, there's no bend and extend of your spine. You're locked into this neutral position, tailbone through crown of head. Your arms move without changing anything there. So you've got to use your abdominals to help support this position. Just for 5. And then we're going to hold those arms back and up behind you. 4. Here for 3. Try to squeeze through the shoulder blades. Opening through that heart. Last 2. And 1. Hold the arms back and up. It's a micro lift. Tiny up, tiny down. Belly pulls in and up. Ribs drop down and in. Collarbones go nice and wide. Soften the shoulders. Squeeze the tips of the shoulder blades together. So I'd rather you lower the arms or put the weights down instead of rounding the shoulders in the upper back. We're here like this for just 8. Go for 7, 6, 6. Last 5, 4, 3, 2. Breathe, hold. Right arm floats all the way up and forward. Left arm holds. Right arm sweeps all the way up and back. That's your pattern. Left arm is in a static hold. So lift that left arm up as high as you can maintain. The squareness of the hips and chest. Resist the urge to start to let that left shoulder round forward. Always that option to drop off the weight. So you can lower the arm, shake it out. Take a break and meet us back here. This right arm is taking as full of a range as you can maintain. Squareness of chest, squareness of hips, length of spine. Let's do 5. Press that left arm up 3 inches higher if you can. Last 4. Go for 3. Here for 2. And last 1. Right arm is going to sweep back behind you. It's those little pulses up through both arms. Feeling some warmth behind the backs of the arms. Backs of the shoulders. Squeeze your shoulder blades down and into your spine, but don't flare your ribs. Nice neutral spine. So you really have to utilize your waistline and your abdominals to stabilize your spine. We'll do 8. Right arm is going to hold that highest, tightest lift behind you in 5. Left arm takes full range in 4, 3. Nice and slow and controlled. A little up, a little down. For 2. Right arm holds. Left arm. You get a little release. It should almost feel like a little stretch behind the back of that arm. That back of that arm has been lifted for quite a while. Right arm holds static now. Chest and hips stay square. Waistline stays engaged. It's forward and it's back. Resist the urge. Don't forget about that right arm. Don't round the shoulders. We're here for 5. Last 4. Go for 3. Inhale, sweeps it forward and back. We're here for 2. And last 1, both arms, last little change. Rotate your palms down. Squeeze the pinkies in and up. In and up. It's a little back and in. Just 8, 7. You got it. Open the heart. Squeeze the wrist down and in. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Give yourself a forward fold. Take elbow to palm, palm to elbow. And give yourself a little sway from side to side. We're going to roll ourselves up. Get your weights out of the way. Band is going to come back over top of your thighs. About midways or so. Always your choice again. You can do one loop. Let the other loop dangle. Otherwise, both loops. Not all the way at the knee, not all the way at the hip. Somewhere in between. Feet are parallel hip bone distance. You're about a forearm's distance from the bar. You'll sit yourself down and back into this little chair position. We're going to settle into this. We're starting with just a hold. Try to send your shoulders over your hips. Crown of the head over your tail. Thighs fight to be as close to parallel to the floor as you can maintain. And then your tailbone is not tucked up and under forward. It's not lifted and arched back behind you. It's just neutral. Now take this entire shape up an inch, down an inch. You're driving through your heels, and the motion comes from your thighs going up and down in your hip socket, not your pelvis rocking back and forth. So you always have the option to drop that band. You don't have to sit as low into this. Try to make sure your knees are a little bit more forward. We'll go for just 8. Here for 7. We're going to add a little layer in 6. So if you find that you can't keep the band stretched open, take it off. Take it to one loop and work from there. No knocking of the knees. Outer hips nice and strong. Let's do 4. Here for 3. Go for 2. And 1. Pause. Hold. Lift the right heel up. Put it down. Lift the right heel up. Put it down. We're staying on the right side. So you're driving through that left foot. All 4 corners. A little deeper press of the heel is okay. Lift the right heel up the back line of the leg. But nothing else is changing. You're not going up and down on this left thigh. You're not rolling the right ankle out to the side. Pull the heel straight up the back of the leg. So if you lift the heel and you feel like you roll all the way to your pinky, don't lift the heel as high. We're here for 8. We're going to hold the lift of the right heel up. Try to stack the shoulders over the hips. I'd rather you come up taller out of the legs than round and crunch forward. We're here for 4. Go for 3. Hold the lift of the heel into. And 1, hold the lift of that heel up. That right leg is external rotation, internal rotation. Full range. Left leg is a parallel static hold. Thigh as close to parallel to the floor as you can find. Right leg, externally rotate, wrap the knee open. Internally rotate, knock the right knee towards the left. You take this to where you can. It can be a smaller range. Knees don't have to touch. Knee doesn't have to open as far, but you're finding full range in this hip socket for 5. Here for 4. Go for 3. Last 2. And 1. Just hold the open. Pulse 8. 7. Pulse the right leg open. Hold the left thigh. Just 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Right heel down. Left heel up and down. Come up out of the thighs. Take a break if you need it. Otherwise, we're rocking and rolling right onto the opposite side. Left heel lifts. Press down. Use the underside of the seat in the belly to help support this. Start to find you're not giving up that tension. If your knees are knocking here, you adjust the band. You always have the option to come up out of it, shake it out. Meet us back. Your heel holds in 5. Here for 4. Again, make sure you don't roll to the edge of the foot. Last 3. 2. Hold the lift of the heel. That leg goes out and in. Out and in. Full range. You externally rotate. Knee wraps out and back. Internal knee wraps in and forward. Always the option to find a smaller range. Come up out of the thighs. Stack the shoulders over the hips. It's just 8. We're here for 7. Breathing through it. Feel your waistline help support. Last 5. You're going to hold your strongest external knee open in 4. And we'll take that little pulse there in 3. Here for 2. And 1. Hold the leg pulse. Out and around. Just 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Draw the leg in. Last little set. It's up an inch. Down an inch. Only 8. Don't knock the knees. Keep them parallel. We're here for 5. Belly and waistline in. Try to put the shoulders over the hips. Last 3, 2, and 1. Send your tail all the way down to the mat. Keep the band. Hug the legs in. Give yourself a little rock from side to side. And then stretch your legs straight up to the ceiling. We'll hold this little waterfall pose for just a couple breaths. You can point and flex your feet. Start to feel. Waistline and abdominals hold the legs. You can have a little bend depending on the tightness. Let's hold the flexion of the feet. Hands come back behind your head. Cradle your head into your hands. Curl up to the tips of the shoulder blades. We start with that hold. So if you curl up and your abdominals are coning to the ceiling, it's too much. Rest your head down. Work from a smaller range. We're going to press our legs out into the band and in. It's like a little reclined jumping jack. Out and in. No internal, no external. It's a parallel press. So if you take your gaze to your knees, they're always facing kind of the center of the room behind you. It's out and in. Rest your head if you need. Bend your knees. Otherwise, we're in this upper abdominal curl. Similar to where we found with bent knees. Legs are straight. And they're stacked as close to over the hips as you can maintain. We're going to hold the press open into the band in just 5. Here for 4. Last 3. 2. Hold open into the band. Little micro pulses out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Breath hold. Release your hands. One on top of the other on top of that band through the inner thighs. Option just to hold. If it's available, let's pulse up. It's a little pulse, like you're going to touch your fingertips forwards. That mirror in front of you. Press the band open. Pull the belly back. Heart is open. Collarbones wide. Just 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll the legs in. Give yourself a little rock from side to side. You can take that band off. We're going to roll ourselves right on up to stand, taking the band with you. All right, we're going to come all the way up. Band is going to come underneath the arch of your left foot. So you'll take a little stance there, kind of anchor that through through the foot. The arch towards the ball of the foot is perfect. Feet are parallel, hip bone distance. Other loop of the band is into the right hand. Roll your shoulders up, down, and back. So standing here, you should already feel some tension and some work to keep that right shoulder back in place without rotating, without rounding. From here, step your right foot back. Bend your left knee. You're in a high lunge position. Start to bend that right elbow out and around. So we're long through tailbone, top of head. Right heel is lifted off of the floor, and you're really light. I want you to feel almost so much so that you could float the right foot off the floor. It's down for now, but that's your stance. You're really pressing through that left foot, and then you're pulling that right elbow out and around in a manner that glues your shoulder blade down and onto your back without rotating. So that elbow is going to go out and around and back down. You got it. Out and around, back down. But there's no rotation of the shoulder. So if you're rotating from the waist, you're cheating yourself out of the back of this arm movement. I'd rather you make it smaller. We're here for 8. Go for 7. Last 6. Here for 5. It's almost like you're going to squeeze your elbow not to the side, back and around, but don't rotate your chest. Last 4. Here for 3. 2. Hold that right elbow, that back knee bends. Straighten. The work here is a hinge of your body, your pelvis, around your left leg. You bend your right knee, stack up, straighten your right leg by squeezing your right glute. That shape goes stacked and forward. So we're working both glutes. Right leg to straighten back forward, left leg the entire time. Elbow, option, let the band go if it's too much on the arm, and work the shift forward and back. Otherwise, it's an active static hold into the arm. We're here for 5. Here for 4. Last 3, you go where you can. Last 2 and 1. We're gonna hold the 90-90 lunge. Thighs are up and down. Up. Straighten as much as you can. So the more straight you go through the legs, the deeper the work through that arm. It's okay if the arm needs to extend straight. Otherwise, I'd like you to try to still find that static hold. Lower and lift. Little split squat here. We're here for 5. Last 4. Here for 3. Last 2. And 1. Bend, hold. It's a little pulse. Tiny up, tiny down. Square the hips, lift the chest, hit the ribs. Elbow is pulled out and around. That deltoid, that outer side of that shoulder should be feeling some warmth. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Start to rotate your hips open. Drop the right heel down. That right arm is a little pulse back. Back, back and around. Drive 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rotate the hips back close. Release the arm. Step the right foot forward. Give yourself a little forward fold. Pedal it out. Shake it out. While you're down there, make that little transition. Band is going to go underneath the arch of the right foot. One lift goes into the left hand. Stand up straight first. Press your hips slightly forward, belly back. Make sure in this standing position you can get the shoulder down and back without rotating. Then simply step the left foot lightly back. Hinge forward. And you start with that row. Out and around, but not elbow in front of body. Not a whole pull your shoulder back. It's okay if your elbow bends 1 inch and then you have to release. It's okay if you need to put the band down and just do this with body weight. I want your heavy weight through your right foot, very light through the left. Belly holds the hips nice and square, and you roll that elbow out and around in a manner that you feel your shoulder blade glued down and onto your back as you simultaneously pull that left rib cage back. You want to feel like you're sandwiched between 2 boards. We'll go for 8. Arm is going to hold out and around to the best of your ability in just 6. Here for 5. Last 4. Go for 3, 2, hold. Feel your abdominals engage. You start to bend the left knee. You stack shoulders over hips. It's a simultaneous squeeze of your left glute as you hinge your pelvis around your thigh. So right butt works the entire time. Left glute works. Just straighten that leg back out, press forward. Right knee is always bent. If you need to, release the arm if it's too much there. I don't want the shoulder shoving up to the ear. I want the collarbone wide. Shoulder drawing down and back. We'll do 8. You're tipping this shape. 90 lunge, I lunge. We'll go for just 5. Feel the strength in both thighs and hips. Last 4. Make sure that right knee doesn't wobble in and out. Last 3. Here for 2 and 1. We're gonna hold the 90-90 lunge. It's up and down. Straighten the legs to the best of your ability. Find that balance. If you can, that elbow is still pulled out and around. Whole body has to work here. You'll go where you can. You're doing awesome. Let's do 8. Here for 7. Get the tip of the left shoulder blade down and into your spine. Pull the ribs back. Last 5. Here for 4, 3, 2. Hold the bottom. It's that little pulse. Tiny up, tiny down. We just have that little opening stance of the hips, little pulse of the arm, and then we're out of this in 8, 7. Try to square the hips off. Don't let that right hip hike and left hip drop. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the stance in the right leg. Straighten the left leg. It opens your hips. Take that band with you. Little pulses. Last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Close it off. Step it forward. You can move the band. Bend your knees as much as you need to get those hands down onto the mat. Slowly step yourself back into a high plank hold. Puff up through the upper back. Option. Come on down to the knees. You can have your knees down, or added bonus, you are in a straight arm, straight leg plank. It's just a hold to start, so whatever you've got is perfectly fine. Head forward, heels back, belly in and up. Just 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees down. Butt to heels, chest to thighs, forehead to the mat. Add a little sway your hips from side to side, circle the wrists. We're gonna come back into a tabletop pose. One knee under each hip. Take a quick cat-cow. Inhale, pull your heart up and through. And then exhale, tuck your tail under, round. Gaze towards your belly. One more. Inhale, head up, butt up. And then exhale, tuck and round. Inhale takes us to neutral. Tuck your toes under, straight back from your knees, knees under hips. Pull your belly in and up, don't jam your butt to the ceiling, and levitate your knees. It's really just that, a tiny levitation, 1 or 2 inches. Option to keep the knees down. Otherwise, we're starting with just a hold. Think cat pose, puff up through the upper back. It's just 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees down. Untuck, butt to heels, chest to thighs. Okay, so we're gonna work through some progressions of this. Always an option to come back to what we've previously done, but we're gonna add some layers. Inhale, pull yourself forward. Quick cat-cow, open the heart. Inhale, head up, butt up. Exhale, tuck the tail under, around through the spine. Inhale, comes back to neutral. One knee under each hip, tuck the toes. Levitate the knees. Pull your thighs up into your pelvis with your belly. That's what floats him up. Option to stay here. Option to drop to that left knee. Otherwise, we're going to twist our knees to the right. Heels to the left. Right arm picks up. They're going to drop it back through center. Here we go, opposite side. Option to be on your knees, and it's more of a traditional kneeling side plank. Otherwise, we're working from a place of that bear hold. Bear hold through center. Heels drop, knees swivel. Let's go for 3 each way. Drive your shoulder blade down and onto your back, shoulder out of ear. Last 2. Last 1. Hand down, knees down. Butt to heels, chest to thighs. Beautiful job. We've got one more little layer. Option to stay where we were. Option to do that little side plank, knee down. Inhale, pull yourself forward. Quick cat-cow. Open your heart, head up, butt up. Exhale, tucking around. Inhale back to neutral. Here we are. Tuck the toes behind the knees. It's a pull of your thighs up into your pelvis from your belly to float the legs up. Start with that. We're going to start to inhale. Rotate the knees to the right. The arm up. Now if you'd add like an added layer, you'll pick the left leg up. You'll put it down. You'll pick the left leg up. Put it down. So right leg, left leg, both legs come through center. Rotate. Pick the left leg up. Put it down. Pick the right leg up. Put it down. Maybe you just get one leg lift. The top leg is a little bit harder, so don't force it. Option just to do that little bear hold. Option to be in a kneeling forward plank. You've always got options. Let's do one more to the right. Come through center. Last time to the left. Come through center. Like the hips. Downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Take a couple breaths there if you need. Otherwise, tiptoe forward. You're going to grab your band and come on up to the bar. One loop of the band is going to go all the way up the left thigh. Other loop of the band is going to go into the arch of your right foot. Always the option not to use it. You can absolutely do this with just body weight. You have to keep a little bend in that left thigh to secure the band. You want to have a bend in the knee anyway, but you definitely need a bend in. Yep, so it's going to go all the way up that left thigh. You got it. Yeah, and then if you bend your leg, yep, perfect. And then press that right leg slightly back so you get a little tension. We're going to start by pressing the right leg straight back and in. Straight back and in. So my hips are staying square. My low back is staying nice and long. And I'm just bending and extending my right leg in my hip socket. So your knee bends and extends because you bend and extend your thigh and your hip. Squeeze your hamstring to your butt to straighten the leg. Use your belly to draw it back in. Option, not to use the band if it's too much. Forearms are on the bar. You're driving down to the sole of that left foot. And you're resisting the urge to bend and kick the heel to the butt. It's not a knee motion, it's a thigh and hip. So your thigh draws in, your thigh presses back. That's what moves the knee and foot. We'll go for just 5. Here for 4. Last 3, 2, 1. You're going to hold the right leg back. Pulse it up. Little up, little down. Low back is long. Tailbone in front of head is a nice little diagonal. You feel the strength in that left leg. Your feet, your right toes, are flexed down to the floor. The thigh is parallel in the hip socket. Shoulders are out of ears, and it's just that little up, that little down. Little 8. Here for 7. Always an option to do this without the band. Work from a place of lower resistance. The leg can be lower. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. Hold the leg up. Now externally rotate, internally rotate. Your goal here is to twist the thigh bone in and out in the hip socket as far in and far out as you can. Maintain the squareness of the hip. So when you turn your leg out, it doesn't open the hip. When you turn it in, it doesn't drop the hip. You're fighting to keep that leg in line with the hip. The turn is in the thigh, so not the ankle. The thigh bone in the hip. Yes. You're here like this for just a few. Try not to do it from the ankle. Yes, high in that hip socket, but don't open the hips. Just twist the thigh, really working in to all of those glute muscles. We're going to hold the external in just 4. Here for 3, 2. Hold the external. Lift it up. So your hips are fighting to both still be facing the floor below you, and you've twisted your thigh bone. Your foot is flexed, your toes are maybe angled to the barroom door. Your knee follows suit, but the leg is still straight back from that hip socket. Only 8. You guys are doing awesome. Home stretch on this Friday morning. If you need a break, you take it. If you need to take the band off, you do that. We're here for 4. We're going to go all the way to internal in 3, 2, 1. This is a little harder. Hips stay square. You can point the toes slightly, turn the thigh in, and now pull. This gets into that inner side of the leg, the adductor, the inner hamstring, and that nice little inner underside of your butt. You twist your thigh bone in, you keep your hips square, and you pulse it out for just 8, 7. We're going to take a stretch on both sides at 6. Standing leg is feeling some more. Just 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely job. Draw the leg in, plant the foot. We're going to cross the right leg over. Sit back for that little figure 4 stretch. And kind of add a sway side to side. And we'll simply do the other side. Left outer hip had to work. And then you'll draw yourself up. We're going to take a little break from the legs through center. Hands are going to come onto the bar. One palm under each shoulder. Step your feet back, but step them wide. So lift up into that releve. Kind of foot at the edge of the mat. Take a tricep push-up here. Inhale down. Exhale up. Options. You don't have to go anywhere near the bar. What I don't want is the elbows up to your ears and the shoulders rounded forward. Your heart is open in that whole shape. From the lifted heels through the top of the head moves in one solid plank forward piece. Let's do 5. Wider stance makes you work your obliques a little bit more. 4. Here for 3. Go for 2. And last one. Hold at the bottom. Here's a little micro pulse. Elbows are shoveling to the center of the room. We're here for 8, 7, 6. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Press back. Keep your left hand on the bar. Reach your right arm through to the left. Twist, gazing up to that left armpit. Try to keep your hips level. Come back through center, right hand on the bar. Left arm feeds through, hips are still level, gaze underneath that right arm. While you're down there, pick your band up and make your way back up to the bar. One loop over top the right thigh, other loop into the arch of the left foot. Always the option not to use the band if it's too much. So second side, get up there as quick as you can. Soft bend in the right knee, forearms on the bar. Inhale, press the leg back. Exhale, bend it in. Couple options. You don't need to use the band. You can have a little less bend in the right knee, but you have to have at least a little bend to create that little hook, especially if you're using that band. The leg goes forward and back from the hip socket, so don't pull your heel up and down to your butt. Your thigh bends into your chest, and then it presses back up towards the ceiling. So the bend and extend of the knee is from your thigh, your belly and your butt, not your knee joint. We're here like this for just 8. Nice railroad track position, so that left thigh stays in line with the hip. Right knee stays in line with the hip. Don't let them cross center or flare wide. Last 5. Here for 4. Go for 3. 2. Press that leg back. Hold it as long and straight as you can. It's a little up and a little down. The up and down is from your butt. So if you feel your pelvis rocking back and forth, you're losing that stability. If you feel gripping in your back, you're lifting your leg with your low back. I want you to use your butt. So it's okay if you need a little bend in the knee. It's okay if the leg needs to be lower. It's okay if you have to take the band off. Your hips are square, angled slightly down to the floor. You should start to feel a little more from the standing right leg. Let's do 8, 7. Here for 6. Last 5, 4. 3, 2, hold. It's external and internal. Your fullest range you can find without opening and closing the hips. So your hips don't change. You simply twist the thigh in the socket and then turn it in. It's out in of your thigh bone, not your ankle joint. A little out, a little in. Almost done. Out and in. Let's do 8. And then we hold the external. Your goal is hips and pelvis square, leg long and lifted, and the leg is straight out from your butt. Don't open it wide. Let's do 3, 2, hold the external. It's up and down. You're trying to wrap your thigh. Think knee to the wall to the left, hamstring to the bar room door to the right. Hips are both facing the floor, and it's a little up and down. Really try to turn that leg out. Last 5. We're going to go all the way in. This one's a little bit harder typically. You go where you can. Twist not from ankle, not from knee. It's your thigh up into your butt in 3, 2, turn it all the way in, toe in, heel out. Because you twist that thigh, hips stay square, long leg up and down. You're getting deep into your inner thigh, the inner hamstring that feeds into the underside of the seat, helping to get that nice little lift and tone of your seat. Let's do 8, 7, here for 6, last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Draw that leg in. We'll sit on down and take our little stretch. You can ditch the band. And then you're going to cross your right leg over your left. Pull it into your chest. Give it a little loop with that elbow. Try to sit up nice and tall. And twist. You unravel. Right leg goes long. And then you hug that left leg in. Just so you do both sides. Cross that leg over. Give yourself that little twist. And then let's grab that ball. Last little bit of touch of core. Then we'll find some stretches and you'll be out of here. Tuck the ball in between the inner thighs. Always an option not to use it if it's too terribly much. You're going to tuck your toes under, levitate your knees. You're in that little bear hole. Squeeze into the ball. Pulse in. I want you to squeeze straight in. So it's not internal rotation. Your knees don't go inward of your thigh. They stay in line with thigh. You squeeze straight down the center line. So that feeds a little bit more into your low belly. If you let your legs internally rotate, you're going to get a little bit more in that hip. I want you to find belly. Let's do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the knees. Keep the ball. Lie on down to your back. Lift your legs up to tabletop. Hands are going to press up, fingertips to the ceiling, palms face forward. Option to keep the head down. Otherwise, let's press the hands. Find an upper abdominal curl. You'll inhale, press the legs out. Exhale, bend them in. 5 like this. Inhale, legs out. Exhale them in. Same thing. Squeeze straight down the center of the leg. Option to have the head down. Option to not take the legs as low or as straight. We'll do one more. Grab the ball, take it out. Stretch the legs up. You pass the ball on the inside of the left or the right leg, out and around. Go on the inside. So you're making this figure 8, out and around. Option head down, knees bent. As you find this little scissored position, let's do 8. Here for 7, no rock. You should feel your hips rocking or hiking. No coning of the belly. Last 3, each way. Last 2. We're going to find a little pulse and hold. Here we go, right leg up. Ball behind the right leg to the best of your ability. Pulse up. 8. Bend the knees, plant the foot. Whatever you've got. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch. Last set. And then we're done. Pulse 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest on down. Diamond shape your feet, soles of feet together, knees fall wide. Give yourself a little rock, back and forth. And then you can press yourself up to a seated position. You're going to keep the right leg forward, and you'll sweep your left leg back. So a couple options here. You can pull your heel closer to your center, but I really want you to have your hips as square to the mat as you can, your right seat down. We'll hold the upright position first. Feel a little release to the front of the left hip. And then you can slowly start to give yourself a forward fold. You're still drawing that right hip back. Feeling a little deeper stretch to the back side of this right hip. We're going to find this stretch, coupled with a last bit of core work through center as we switch. And I'll talk you through it. Go ahead and press yourself back up. Plant your hands on the outside of this foot, this knee, this shin. Tuck your left toes under. Press down through the toes. Kick yourself up. Slide the right leg back. Let's hold. Put the toes down, put the knees down, put the forearms down. Whatever you need. It's just 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Draw the right leg in, step it through the hands. Left knee drops down, left hand under shoulder. Inhale the right arm up. Give yourself that twist. And bend the left knee. And draw that foot in, knee is down. And reach that leg long. And then let's come into a half split. You move forward and back, half flossing through the back of that leg and hip. Low lunge, half split. If you're working on full split or you have full split, whatever works for you, you can find that here. Take just another breath or so. And then you'll carefully peel yourself up. Right back opposite side. Left leg forward, right leg back, pigeon stretch here. Stay upright to the best of your ability first. So don't automatically go down into the outer hip. Get that opening through the front of the right hip. And then slowly forward fold. Never forcing, you go where you can. You don't have to fold it all. Feel that stretch. And then we'll find that last little bit of core. Try to plant your hands in front of the knee, the shin. Tuck your right toes under. Squeeze your right butt to lift that shape up. Then you push through your palms. Pull the leg in. Press it back. Try to keep it hovered if you can. We hold just 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Step the foot there. Drop the right knee down. Right hand under shoulder. Sweep the left arm back and up and around. On that inhale, get the twist first. And then bend the knee. Find the bind if it's available. Never forcing. You release that. Turn back forward. Half split, low lunge. Move back and forth. Hold one or the other. Whatever works for you. So half split, your butt goes up in the air. Really try to work the length of the leg. Don't just sit your butt back towards your heel. And then we'll all just come to a seated position on the mat. You'll roll yourself all the way down onto your back. Hug your legs into your chest. Nice little rock from side to side. Stretch your legs out long onto the mat. And then take your hands up over top your chest. Flex your feet. Collarbones nice and wide. And this last touch of core, I really want you to challenge yourself. You can use your hands if you need to. Bend your knees if you need to, but try to slowly peel one bone at a time up. So we're going to lift our head, flex your feet, squeeze your inner thighs. We're still peeling, very slow, nice and slow. We're at our upper back. We're peeling our mid back. Pull your belly in, yes, drive the heels down, coming all the way up. You got it, nice job. Keep going up and over top the thighs, yes. And then give yourself a final fold. Bend your knees slightly, sit up. I'll give you the option to cactus the arms if you're tighter through the shoulders. If you're a little more open, arms long, create the bind. Palms will touch together if you can. And straighten the legs back out. And give yourself that final little shoulder opener. Never forcing you, go where you can. Whatever this looks like for you is perfectly fine. Release the bind. Stack on up. Happy Friday. Have a great holiday weekend. And you're all done.